Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. You already
Yeah.
know what it is, man. Plot and Progress podcast. This episode 20. So this is a special commemoratory episode, man. We on 20 episodes of this. We've been rocking and rolling them out. So it's a good thing that we're here on this episode, man. What's good with y'all brothers?
Man,
Peace.
we just threw dubs on it. You feel me?
On the
We threw
dubs on.
dubs on that
Dub. Yeah,
thing.
man. But yeah, it's dope, man. Dope bill. We just recapping the Legacy Camp. That's what we're gonna do this episode, man. But
Yep.
before we get into that, man, you already know how we do. We're gonna get into who spit those bars, and I got the honor of doing the bars tonight. So I'm pretty sure y'all probably gonna guess this though. But it's just one of my favorite songs as well, though. All right, let me see.
Come on with it.
All right, let's see here. It's such a blessing when my eyes get to see the sunrise. I'm ready to begin. Another chance to get further away from where I've been, but I never forget. Everything I went through, I appreciate the shit. Because if I had a went and took the ease away, I wouldn't be the strong nigga that I am today. Everything that I did, different things I was told, just ended up being food for my soul. Y'all know this,
Yeah, I know it.
That's Goody Mob, right?
Yep.
huh?
Goody
Yeah.
Mob.
Yeah.
Is it who says it? Who spit that? Cujo?
No.
Who?
It's such a
CeeLo.
blessing that my eyes get to see the sunrise. I'm
Oh.
ready to begin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
classic. That's a
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah. The end part gave it away though, huh?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I was the way you were spitting it in the bars that was hitting me so hard, I was gonna say Scarface at first.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's wild. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of them. That's one of them feel good songs. When I hear that song, it just automatically make me feel good.
Yeah. Good old soul food, man. A classic joint, man. Definitely a classic, man. But yeah, man. We just coming back, still feeling the good vibes, and still feeling the good energy, man. From the Legacy Camp, the first Legacy Camp that the Growth Spot put on, man. So, in case y'all didn't know or been under a rock, not following us or whatever, we did a camp to our land and then to Lion Lake, where we took, what was it, 12 or was it 13?
It was 14. 14.
14.
Yeah.
We took 14 young men out to Lyman Lake Friday, came back Sunday, man. So anybody want to kick it off on how they feel things went and what the build was on it?
Yeah, man. It was super dope to me. That's one of the best camps I've been on, doing the mentorship with camping involved in it. So mentorship and camping together, that was one of the best experiences I've had. I think a lot of that was because the work that we were doing, a lot of the time we spent was on our own land. Every time we were able to say that and just feel that, embrace that, it was something different. So I'm definitely looking forward to being able to have that feeling again, that opportunity to do something like that. But that was the biggest part for me, is the fact that we were on our own land. All the work that we put in, it wasn't necessarily in vain or anything. We weren't doing it for anyone else's benefit. You know what I mean? We were putting in the most work and getting the biggest reward out of it, and that's just coming from the land ownership. One of the
And
not one of the first times, but another time that we've been able to experience the benefits of land ownership.
indeed, I share the same sentiments. I think you hit the nail right on the head. This camping effort had a different significance because we were able to do so much on our very own property and actually show that to the youth, to let them know that it's a it's in reach. It's a tangible goal that can become a reality for like-minded. individuals that band together with a common agenda. And I think that's an important point to emphasize. When you are mentoring youth, some of the typical activities are great, but I think it's exponentially impactful when you can actually show them the byproduct of some of those principles that we try to teach.
Right.
Um, yeah, the example is key, in addition to those lessons. And then I just really enjoyed the collective of young minds that we had, a lot of personality, and it was really good to just see them detach. Um, I feel like just about all of them were going through Wi-Fi withdrawals for the first day.
Yeah.
For
I
real.
can't count how many times they asked about charging their phones, and that was like a thing for the
Right.
first day. Once we got past that, they were able to open up to us and actually with each other as well, because most of them did not know each other, so they weren't familiar
Right.
with each other. But I feel like we got to a certain point where they were just being kids, and that was great to see. So yeah, man, it was dope. Um, it was a great start to this particular effort, and I'm sure at some point we'll do that again. So
Right.
everyone that's watching right now, just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. That was really great, beneficial for all the mentors and the youth as well.
Yeah, I feel like Friday morning, we met up as kind of like us and them, and then um the young men together. We kind of met up as strangers, and then by the time like Saturday night or Sunday morning pulled around, man, it felt like we was all cousins and shit. You know what I mean? Like cousins and uncles and shit. Like
Right.
the camaraderie and the vibe was there, and just the conversations that we had, and and it was also nostalgic for me. Like I remember like one of the dudes, you know what I mean? We sitting there, they was freestyling, and I was just sitting there watching, like, man, like that used to be us, bro. Like, and it made me like happy and shit on the inside. Like, man, like it's not so much different. We think we're different because we're older and all that, man. Like we looking at us, you know what I'm saying? And that shit was dope. It was dope, man. And like I said, like the challenges, like the hiking and the not having access to the phones, and then you have a ability to tap into your initial energy, which was before all the shit that we have, the technology, and then also like you outside, is that's how we grew up, man. We was outside, you know what I mean? If we don't have a Nintendo, or even if we did, we get tired of that, man, and we go outside and just to see
Right.
them
Barefoot, playing in
barefoot,
puddles, all of that.
playing in mud fights, you know what I mean? Football and
Right.
even getting into it with each other, playing the football and playing capture the flag. Like that's how you earn your stripes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As a man, as a young man, and to me that shit was essential.
Yeah, I think it was dope to kick off Men's Health Month doing that too, because
Yeah.
it was very healing for us as mentors as well, just to be able to offer an opportunity or a space for them to be children again, be kids, to see those smiles and that happiness. It's like, man, this is in a way you can kind of sit back and just smile yourself. Like you said, it make you happy in the inside. So that's one of the things I really enjoy about mentoring, is that as we're helping these young men, we're also healing ourselves from everything that we've been through. Also, it's a revolving
Mhm.
thing. That's the same Kofa. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Mm, indeed. Another point is the fact that the brothers were able to come together. This is something that we planned. We put our heads together, laid some ideas out on the table, and we were able to implement that. And I think the word reliability comes to mind. I know a lot of us are somewhat disenchanted with group projects and the stressors that come with that.
Right.
Because you got to manage personalities, right? Especially men. Men are super prideful. Men aren't the best with communication and just being
Hmm.
forthcoming in a lot of instances. So it was just really good to see this implemented and not feeling overburdened at any point, where
Facts.
one person had to pull more than the other. Um, it it just really optimized everything when you knew certain aspects of this effort were covered by another brother, and you didn't have to really, second guess that. And I think that showed in, how things played out and how smooth things went. And you know what they say, time flies when you're having fun, man. But I
Right.
mean, we got there, and next thing we was packing up and on our way back. But we definitely got a lot accomplished. Diversified a lot of different activities, kept them moving. Kept the blood pumping, and really, when you're so think about this. I mean, how often are you outside all day from sun up to sundown? That's rare. You know what I mean?
For
And it's
real.
like it's so simple, but after a while, you just think you like, damn, I have not been indoors for the past 2-3 days. You know what I mean? So it was really good to just get that good old vitamin D the old fashioned way, take in those sun rays, and then ride that on into the night. And we saw some interesting things out there too, man. But it's so dope to be out in any space where there's no light pollution, no air pollution, and you get to see that full scale sky. I just love
The
that.
galaxy. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
galaxy. Yeah.
nothing like it, nothing like it. So I'm pretty sure the young men got a kick out of that as well.
Yeah, I was like
Yeah.
as you mentioned, I was telling brother Javion when we was on our way home, like I looked over, I'm like, man, to be honest, I ain't even ready to go yet. And he was
Man,
like, shit, take me to the house.
man,
But man, I honestly I felt like when Sunday was there, I was like, man, it came too fast. I could have stayed a couple more days for sure. I feel like it was barely starting to set in on Sunday to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I definitely appreciate being out in the wilderness like that, man. Just like the mental clarity, the nerves are calmed. It's just certain things you're not thinking about when you out there. You know what I'm saying? You're not
Right.
thinking about the hustle and bustle of traffic and hearing all this noise. When you think about it, most people you step outside of your house, even in your backyard, and if you just be still, you're hearing all kinds of stuff. You're hearing horns, you're hearing buses, you're hearing just whatever dogs, like it's all kind of stuff going on, man. So um it's therapeutic to just be right in nature, and then it's just like, man, um it's a rare occurrence in the context of how we live today, man. So I was just soaking it in, man. Like I really look forward to getting back up there. um last summer especially, I was up there pretty often, and man, it hurt to come back, man, because not only is it burning hot here in the valley, but just the serenity that was afforded to me just being in that space. I really dig that, man. So considering that we came back to what, it'll be 110 degrees tomorrow here in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just
Number
put
14.
yeah, it just puts a sharp contrast in where we were, because everything was just mild temps, even though it was sunny. But into the night, I think we were well into the 50s, and that was
Right.
just, man, that was just great. Free AC all day. I'm with that.
Yeah, it was dope. It was also dope to let the young bros see that you can do something with some other brothers and it can happen. And to take them onto our own land, and then to, like, it felt good telling them like, yo, man, like this our land right here. This our shit, man. And it was also good not to have to do all the work. You know what I mean? Like to use that young energy and use them
Man,
young guns and kind of
Right.
facilitate. Facilitate like a point guard. It was pretty dope, man. And it was teamwork, and they were happy to do it. Like we were
yeah,
doing it, like, yo, let me get some in and let me do it. And we was like, go ahead. You know what I mean? Like,
Throwing
get
little
some of that energy
competitions
off.
out there and everything. Like they love that.
yeah,
It's a little healthy competition. That's
yeah.
all.
Right.
And I know we got a lot of images and video of that. Hopefully, maybe we can display some of that on this session. But to add on to that, it was one thing to take them to the land that we own, but then they're actually a part of the process of like the infancy of the development by some of those
Mhm.
tasks that we were doing. Um, the most significant thing they were helping with was like the fence line that we're kind of incrementally establishing. So letting them drive them posts, like you said, using that young that energy, that prowess that they come with. That was good, man, because it's just how many of them get to do things like that, and it paid off in so many ways because they were doing it together, right?
Right.
So even something like that becomes like a bonding moment of sorts, because then it's like they're getting something accomplished, regardless of how small. And I think that's key when you're doing like group efforts. Like we have these lofty ideas in a lot of instances, and that's awesome. Think big, but I think it's important to establish the momentum like gradually. Small wins turn into moderate wins, and then you keep pushing that momentum into bigger wins. I think it's good to like, have that concept of a snowball rolling down a hill, and it has to start as a pebble size ball, but eventually you keep that momentum going at the correct pace, it turns into a boulder. And the funny thing about that boulder size effort is that once you get it to that point, you get so much more willingness for other people to jump on that now that it's going, so small wins, I think it's good to just, establish a streak of wins. And start small. It doesn't have to be momentous, but it could be as simple as, hey, let's get this paperwork filed. And then when you get through that, that's a win. And then from there, you just keep stringing those events. And then you start to establish like the trust that way as well when you're working with individuals. And you can say, hey, well, you can always reflect and think about what's been done thus far, and that kind of puts things in proper perspective to give you the confidence to keep it going. Cause it's like, hey, if we did this, we could do that. Really, it comes down to just organizing thoughts. So, um, I am sure we were able to display a little bit of that at minimum to the young men that were with us.
Yeah, I agree. I think the fence post thing was more like the physical side of it, but I noticed a lot of them started to lock in mentally as well when we start talking about the directions and the linings of the fence posts and stuff. I start seeing I start seeing this spinning, and a lot of their eyes, and they're starting to like understand, even though we're out in the somewhat of the middle of nowhere, they're starting to grasp like, okay, where am I? And that's a good thing as well. Like it like I said, it was more physical with the fence post, but that also turned on the mental side as well.
Indeed.
What you got, Crondo?
I just think it was dope to like I said, show ownership. They need to see ownership. They need to know that they can do the same things that we're doing. They need to know that also, like when they get older, they can come to this land and they can be like, yo, I help build this. You know what I mean? Like this is my work as well. And that's the whole point of where like the word community comes in. That they say, we don't have a community, and where's the community efforts, and where's this and where's that. That's kind of what it comes down to. Like, look at the young brother right there. You know what I mean? Like he was having
Isaiah,
fun
look
doing
at
that.
Isaiah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they were having fun doing that. And I just think that it just shows the camaraderie of how when you're doing things as a group, how you can move mountains. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
literally you can move mountains, man. And I think that's a key factor of what we did this past weekend. Um, use that energy for good. Use that energy for good. You can use a lot of the energy, just like the energy that we put into it. We put a lot of energy to this, a lot of planning, a lot of time, and to me, it went pretty well. I believe that it really couldn't get any better. You know what I mean? Like I
Almost
had
perfect. If perfect was a
almost
real thing,
perfect.
that would have been it.
Yeah, yeah. If there's a such thing as perfection, we were damn near to it. Even with the fact that like one of the brothers was kind of like a mom's boy and called his mom every 5 minutes, and then later in the weekend, once we came back from that hike, and he passed that hike, and I'm sitting there coaching him the whole time, and I'm like, yo, man, like You know, like you got asthma, I got asthma. You know, we can't let things be a factor, man. And you know, don't let anybody say you can't do shit. You could do whatever, man. And then, you know, he kind of broke off that mama's boy vibe and was like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And then when we came back, everybody was clapping for him, and that's just teamwork shit, man. Like I almost started crying a little bit. Like, damn, man, I felt, I know he felt good. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to for him to experience that, not, you know, a lot of these kids, some of them, they don't have that masculine energy to like be around. So when they see that and they see like this real man and we not assholes and we not trying to get over on them or anything like that, it's pure loving energy. You know what I mean? So for them to experience that, man, I believe that it was monumental.
Big
Indeed.
facts.
You know, I would love to have a couple of those brothers share their sentiments. I know we got some of their thoughts captured, but we had some very insightful young brothers with us. And you
Yeah.
know, in regard to youth, I think something that we got to keep in mind is that they are a great source of imagination. You know, they still have that big bright flame of imagination, of ideas and things of that nature. So I know, if y'all like me, we kind of come from an upbringing where the kids stayed out of all grown folks conversation. I
Mm-hmm.
think we should perhaps challenge ourselves on how we can start to involve them in certain aspects of like things that require like, just creativity and innovation. They're rich with that. And then obviously there's so much more in touch with, the technology, the things that are happening and things that are feasible with when you leverage that stuff a particular way. So that's something that, in the next effort, I would definitely be interested in just getting some perspective from the youth as far as, hey, what could you see happening in this space? What kind of ideas, if you were in the driver's seat as far as developing this space, what do you see here? That type of thing. And I'm
Right.
sure it will be entertaining at the least. But some of them, obviously, they have a lot of great ideas and things. And I think, you know, um, to your point, Prondo, coaching the young men into like the appropriate confidence enables people to be a lot more like resourceful.
Hmm.
Right.
Um, when you're reserved, you hold back, and obviously, kids. That's a big thing. That's a challenge for kids in all, um, like or most social interactions for them. So, the great thing about being removed, and which we spoke to earlier, it almost gets to a point where you don't have no choice because it's like, what else are you gonna do, right? You're not distracted by the devices that you're accustomed to, so you got to kind of immerse yourself into the setting and just being the creatures that we are, we need to entertain or at least, interact with something to make the time pass. So that was great to see, man. And you're right, man. After a while, it was like a family reunion type vibe. It
Yeah.
felt like everybody was just kinfolk, and we was just out there, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
agree.
Yeah, definitely, man. I just think it was cool for them just to see, you know what I mean, some brothers out there doing it, and also like to actually put in that work, like like the video we watch now. Like I'm pretty sure that was their first time. They never knew what an auger was, and never know that like, yo, this is how like when we were spray painting the markers for our land and the no trespassing sign, and it just solidifies ownership, man. And I want to instill that in that because I didn't have that mentality when I was, 12 through 18. I didn't have that mentality at all. So, for
Right.
Right.
that, I hope they picked up all the jewels that uh that we were dropping and giving.
Yeah, I want
So
to give a little background on that video we just watched. So, another key point when you're working on the land is make sure you have a gas
um,
powered auger. You feel me?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because that was a battery powered auger, and if you notice, it don't matter how strong you are, if it's not powerful enough to break that dirt down, it's you're not gonna be able to do nothing. And if you look back at that video and you look at all the boys, they was looking at me like, bro, it's not going through. What are you doing? It's not going though. It's not going through. I think even one of them was like, it's a rock down there. Like, it wasn't moving at all. So just a little word of advice, man. Make sure you get you a strong gas powered auger. It makes the job so much easier.
Yeah.
Yep.
For more clarity, so I think age range wise, I think the youngest was perhaps like 8,
Yeah.
all the way up through 18. I think our oldest was 18. So as you can see, wide range of activities from, that fence line that we showed you. We did a little bit of archery. We did concrete 101, where I was able to kind of teach them how concrete works, what makes up concrete, and then they got some hands-on experience mixing the concrete and casting some pavers that we set form work for. What else? Hiking, yoga, breath work, fishing, also swimming out there, and then the good old classic football and capture the flag. So we kept them busy, and it's always a challenge, but it's funny because it reminds me of us, how much we can eat, when we're that active. And it's almost as if they, whatever you put in front of them, it was gonna get ate up, and they was asking what's next, So
yeah, I think they learned something there as well too, because it did get to a point where they start looking around like, man, we ain't got no more food. The food started winding down towards that third day, but it put a little bit more into perspective about preserving and not overeating and just overdoing it. Because what we gonna do now? Y'all done ate all the food. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right. That's it. That's all. Until next time.
Go at that time, but I did notice a couple of those worried looks on their face, like, man, what have we got ourselves into?
Yeah, for sure, man. And I'm guilty of that too. Like, man, I'm used to eating till I get full and eating till I, damn near can't move type shit. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? So it was dope just to go through that with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and even with the breakfast, I was talking a little bit of shit, man, but the oatmeal wasn't that bad. It was actually good when you real. It was it was actually good when you real hungry. You know what I mean? It tastes real good.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to have your 5-star meal out there, but can you appreciate just having something?
Indeed.
Tastes real good when you out there hungry.
Indeed, them kids was killing that oatmeal too. So it hit different when your stomach set up a certain kind of way.
Right.
For sure.
Right. It was overall a dope experience, man. Even just to everybody like helping each other get their tents made and setting up the tent and making sure everybody's tent was straight and it didn't blow over and all that. You know what I mean? It was good, man. It was definitely good. Everybody had their own tents. You know what I mean? And it was pretty windy out there, man. But just to be able to adapt, the key word is adaptability. When some shit happens, you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to pivot. You know what I'm saying? And we experienced that for sure.
Definitely.
Indeed. A rich experience that I wish I had at their age. I mean, to be quite frank, I didn't start camping until I was well into my adulthood. A few years ago, to be honest.
Right.
It's when I bought my first tent, and it's still a lot for me to pick up. And that's also the great thing, being transparent with them in a sense and letting them know, hey, I don't really know how to fish, or I'm learning this too with you. And to emphasize the point that it's ever, it's paramount to be like a forever student. You know what I mean? Like, even when you feel like you've mastered something, there's always something to pick up, always something to add to, enhance. So just embrace being a student. And it's okay if you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm grown, and it's like simple things that I don't know, but it's just as long as you have the willingness to learn and have that open mind to it, That's the key, because then it's like your potential is limitless if you have that type of approach.
Yeah, you never stop learning, man.
Indeed,
You never stop
indeed,
learning. It's a learning experience. You know, life is to to live is to learn. You know, to live is to learn definitely, and I think we exuded that for sure this weekend, man. We definitely exuded that.
indeed. So shout out to all the parents and guardians that enrolled their children in the program, in the camp, and trusting us to take proper care of them and keep them busy for the weekend. I know for a lot of them, we bailed the parents out because they probably parents was probably lit all weekend. Right, rightfully so. As parents, we need those breaks, but
Right. Like
it,
he
it was an
good, he
honor.
good. He with his mentors.
Right. Indeed, indeed. And we had, most of the children from, just various areas throughout the valley, but we had one of the participants that actually came from out of state and, flew
Yeah,
Yeah,
across the
that was
country to
dope.
join us. So that was an honor to hear
yeah,
that.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I tripped out when I heard that. Like, damn, you seen it online and y'all flew out here just to have him be a part of this, man. Like, that's dope. Yeah, that was dope.
Indeed. So, as far as those activities, obviously, this is going to be a perpetual effort for us, But I'm sure, any extra hands we can get, we'd be willing to take. But we're gonna keep rocking out as far as like the development, building that fence out, and all the various other projects that we have. So really, it's still the beginning for what we got ahead of us. Um, but yeah, we got really good momentum, a lot of good support, and the young brothers. I think in a way, it was a source for inspiration to keep going as well. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like,
Yeah,
hey, we talking a good game, we showing them what we're doing in action. It's like, yo, we gotta see the mission through. You know what I'm saying? Because what would we look like if we didn't? You know?
right.
Yeah, that's real, man. That picture's powerful right there, man. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
powerful
that's one of
picture.
them ones right there.
Yeah,
The more time that passed by, the more powerful that picture will become. You feel me?
yeah, yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, man, Legacy Camp 2024, man. If you missed out, you missed big. But we gonna run it back though for sure. We're gonna run it back, man. Yeah, definitely. Like again, thanks to all the parents. I give thanks to all the parents. I give thanks for the kids, man. None of them was up there acting crazy. Everybody was respectful for the most part. You know, kids gonna be kids, kids gonna be kids. But for the most
Right.
part, everything was dope and everything was honorable.
Yeah. Yeah. Ancestors was rocking with us for sure.
Right, right. Yeah. Any closing words, fellas?
Now I just think that again, this is to me it's not a coincidence at all, just very symbolic as well that this recap of the legacy camp would also be episode number 20. That means a
Yeah.
lot to me. Like you was just saying, Kylan, it's motivation. You feel me? So man, we're gonna be back next week with another dope guest, dropping some more jewels, and it's just gonna keep going. You feel me?
Indeed. Indeed. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all stay tuned on YouTube. Obviously, we also the Growth Spot Squad on Instagram, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Um,
Or
Facebook,
just Growth Spot Squad.
Growth Spot Squad.
Yep.
Yeah, and then yeah, like if y'all got any questions or anything like that, that you can shoot them to us via email. I'm sure that'll be on the ticker below. All that information you can reach out on any of those social media platforms or email. Or if you know us personally, just hit us up. You know what I mean? Text messages. We're not hard to find.
Yep.
Um, with that being said, we're gonna close it out with our mission statement, like we always do. At the Growth Spot, we are united in action to build, protect, and expand a fruitful legacy of love, equity, growth, ancestry, cooperation, and yield. Peace. Till next time.
Peace, peace,
Peace.
peace.